Hello and welcome to my video lecture on fact table examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a couple of more examples on fact tables, just so you can see some graphical examples of what might be going on out there. In this particular example, we're looking at something you should be familiar with, an attendance fact table. This is an example of a factless fact table. As you can see, all this fact table is doing is keeping track of the foreign keys from other tables. Alright, so of course we have our time dimension, we have our course, we have our student, then we have our course, then we have our teacher, then we have the facility. You can see in this example how you could have a fact table that has really no facts. It's simply keeping track of, well, I guess you could say the fact is that the student taking this course with this teacher was in this facility on this day. All right, so there's your attendance fact table. Here's another factless fact table. So this is a promotion, right? So now this has to do with marketing. So again, we have our time dimension, which again, more than likely, much more complicated than that. The product that's being advertised, the store it's being advertised in, and the promotion being used. Right. So again, necessarily no facts associated with this fact table. It's simply the associative entity, as we spoke about in previous videos. This is an example where we've got our finances, right? So in this case, we're a hospital. So we've got our date dimension, our patient, our provider, our location, our service. This is a fact table because it has to charge the amount paid. But what we see here is that we have a diagnosis helper table to get us from our finances fact table to our diagnosis. So in this case, our other fact table or dimension table is the diagnosis, and then we have groups. So this is a situation where your fact table has an associative entity between it and the diagnosis table, because there is a many-to-many relationship between the diagnosis dimension and the finances fact table. So in this case, this is where we would handle a multi-dimensional fact table. In this case, this is an example of a hierarchy, right? So we have our fact table in the lower right, which is associated with our product. Our products are associated with a product family. Our product family is associated with a product category, and the product category is associated with a product group. So you can see that this is where the star schema starts to expand out into what's known more as a snowflake type schema. In this example, this is another example of our fact table having a multi-dimensional relationship with our customer dimension, and here we've got our bridge table, and again, there's no name for it here, it's just called the helper bridge table, but the relationship between customer and revenue is much more sophisticated than just a simple relationship. So as you can see, our revenue fact table to our helper bridge table is a many-to-many, so we would need another helper bridge table in there. So you can see how the modeling of a data warehouse can get much more complicated. In this example, this would be where we've got our automotive company does sales and revenue. The sales can be new sales, can be used sales. And this is how our hierarchy, the hierarchy helper table, would help associate our customers with their lower dimensioned hierarchies. In this example, we've got our customer table and our fact table. Again, this is pretty much a straight relationship, but here you can have end dates, addresses, other dimension attributes can be added. Our fact table is now a compound fact table relationship. So here our customer, we have our start date with the customer. So as this would be used in our slowly changing dimensions, where we have customers that have a start date and they get a customer key, and then in our fact table we would have our date key and the customer key. So now we have a compound primary key foreign key relationship in this example. And then in this case, again, slowly changing attributes, we would have hot. So within our customer dimension, we have slowly changing attributes where they could be moving, things like that. Their name can change. And then we might have hot or rapidly changing attributes, all associated with our fact table. So the demographic keys, which would be a hot set of attributes associated with a customer, and then we would have our customer key, which would be the more slowly changing attributes, both of which have to be handled. But again, just some graphical examples of fact tables and dimension tables, just to kind of clarify some of the topics we've already discussed in this chapter.